Well, good morning. Lloyd Dussault Sr. checking in this morning. It is my intention to attempt to make some pumpernickel bread. This is going to be 2 loaves today from this recipe. And I'm going to read off the ingredients for the pumpernickel bread. I'm going to be using 2 cups of whole wheat flour, which is 240 grams, 2.5 cups of white flour, which is 300 grams, 2 tablespoons of chocolate powder, baking powder, chocolate, and that's about approximately 15 grams. 1 tablespoon of sugar, which supposedly is around 4 grams, and a tablespoon of salt, which is 18 grams, I believe. And going to take 5 teaspoons of yeast, which is approximately 15 grams for the gram people. 1.5 cups of water, which is 360 grams. Half a cup of molasses, which is approximately 169 grams. And 2 tablespoons of oil, which is 28 grams. So we're going to start getting this show on the road. It's a pretty reasonably simple recipe. It has to be if I'm going to do it. Okay, let's see if we can figure out where we're going here to start. So I guess if we're going to start, we might want to start with some flour. So I have some rye flour here, along with some white. So, whoa there, try not to make a mess this morning. I've already had reasonable success at making a mess already. So, all right, I'm not going to be fancy. Here's 1 cup. And call that 2 cups of the rye flour. Okay. I'm going to move that out of the way to get myself a little bit of space. And I'll see if I can't put 2.5 cups of bread flour in here, white flour. There we go. We got 1 cup. And 2 cups. And I had to get about halfway up here. And 1/2 cup. So we have the flour in. 2 cups of whole wheat and 1.5 cups of white. To that, I am going to add as the dry ingredients 1 tablespoon of sugar and, hope you can see that, I'll move this out of the way here, what I'm up to, a little bit mostly. 1 teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of salt. So that's 1 tablespoon of each. And what do we have here? We got some cocoa. 2 tablespoons of cocoa going in there. Baking cocoa. And any more dry ingredients to put in there? Oh yeah, 1 more to go, I believe. So we have 2 cups of flour, 2.5 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of cocoa, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of salt, and 5 teaspoons of activated yeast, and I'm using red mill for that. So all the dry ingredients are in there. I don't believe I missed anything, so I'm going to get my whisk and try to get everybody happily mixed together, the yeast and the chocolate, rye flour and the white flour, and the salt, and the sugar. All right, I think I've agitated that enough. Now let me see where we're going from here. We have some wet ingredients to add. I have warmed this water up. It may have cooled down a little bit, but I like to have it about 100 degrees, and it's dropped down a little bit. So I might just throw a little bit of a warm on it, but about don't want to overdo it. Okay, check my water just for fun. Oh, it's up to about 90 degrees thereabouts. So that's pretty good. So we're going to start adding the liquid stuff to this water here. We have to add 1.5 cups of water we have right here. We're going to take a 1/2 cup of molasses and 2 tablespoons of oil. Now what I'm going to do here is hopefully I pull something reasonably intelligent, but we'll find out. I have put the oil in the 1/2 cup measure that I want to use the molasses, put the molasses in. Okay, now you're saying, why has that boy done that? Well, it's not that I'm smart, but I do watch YouTube. And to get honey or something like molasses to do what you want it to do, if you're using a spoon, you can lubricate the spoon with oil first. Or what I'm doing, and you can watch, look at how it pours out of that. Is that a miracle or what? Now, if I hadn't done that, I'd be squeegeing all that out. Yeah. And just slowly going out of there. Pretty much almost all of it right now. I'll give it a little help here. We'll be on our way. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So we have that in there. Get the molasses out of the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my little witch's brew up a little here before I add it. I get everything blended, so everybody's going to be happy going in there. Okay, we're going to say that that's pretty well mixed. Get my notes out of the way here for a minute. What I'm going to do, I have a KitchenAid mixer, or hiding away, you can't quite see it right now. But that's what I'm going to do. But first I'm going to get the liquids in here. Holding back a little bit to see what we got here when I start. If you can see that. So it goes better in the mixer, I find, if you get the stuff pretty well started first. I believe this is going to be a kind of a wet mix. So let's see what we can do here. I think we're going to need the rest. All right. Get all that good stuff in there. We won't want to waste any of it. There we go. All right. See if I can get a little bit more of this mixed up before I go over to the mixer. Yep. That's almost there. Let's get that last little bit, try to pick up off the bottom. And blend it in a little bit. Hopefully the mixer will do the rest. All right, I'm gonna set this over on my mixer, which probably is out of sight at the moment. Okay. There's my mixer doing its thing. I'm going to turn off the camera while it's blending, and when it's ready to set in the plastic bowl that I have right here, We'll turn the camera back on. That'll allow me to clean up my mess while waiting. Do self-seeing, check it out. Well, I'm back. That was about 4 or 5 minutes in the mixer. And this is what we've got here. I'm about to put it in the blue top mold here so it can do its thing and rise up, hopefully. Oh, dear me. Yeah. Put a little teeny bit of oil on the top here. Just gonna get it so it don't dry out. And we're gonna, yeah, it feels nice and warm, so that's a reasonably good sign. We're gonna have some success. All right. Okay. Get out my trusty cover. It's not plastic, it's not saran wrap, it's just fits on my bowl. Closes it up. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera for a minute. Well, I'm back. And that's what we call getting some rise here. So eventually that's going to be cut in half. I plan to make a round bread, which is going to go in my crock pot here, this crock pot. And I have an old aluminum pie plate that I cut down that'll drop in. I'm setting that on this so when it comes time to take that out of there, I can lift it out without burning myself. That's my plan anyway. And we have some parchment paper on the bottom. So that's going to go in this one here. Set right in there like that. Whoop. Now my other crock pot is an oval one, which allows me to put a bread pan in there. So one of these is going to be a loaf and the other one's going to be a nice round one. So what I do is I've cut up a sheet of paper. I believe it's 12 inches this way by the width of the parchment paper. Set it on, and then I have two pans that are identical pans, and I use that one to squish it in place to get it nice and flattened out. And it works pretty good. So anyways, oh, and on the other crock pot, I made a rack that I'm using. It gets the pan slightly off the bottom, so the pan's not directly on the heating element. It's off, so it gets heat from the bottom and around the sides, and hopefully I get a little better cooking with that. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Now, if I could pull this off, get my hands clean here. They weren't really dirty, but okay. Move this out of the way and make sure that counter is dry. I cleaned it. It'd be in pretty good shape. Oh, this is the part that gets dangerous for me. Okay, we got some flour here. And I am going to liberally flour the top here because this could get sticky. The maximum. Okay, I am going to. That's what it looks like right now, and I'm going to give it a punch it down. You can see it's letting the gas out. And I am going to see if I can get it. Oh, it smells good just from the dough. Smell the molasses in it. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. Talk about some sticky. But it's coming loose. Oh, how sweet it is. All right, I'm impressed. I am impressed. All right, I'm going to get a little bit of flour on that critter. There we go. Believe me, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm having a heck of a lot of fun doing it. All right, here. That didn't work too well. I want to get a little more there. Rolling it in here. Alright, I'm gonna roll this critter in here. I'm assuming you can see what's going on. I'm kind of rolling it into a ball, rolling the dough into itself. I think this is going to be just fine here. All right. Well, I get out here and see if I can find a device to cut that with. I don't have one of those nice blades, so it's going to be what it is here. Well, yeah, well, it's going to work. All right, we have two segments here, approximately the same size. Flour it up a little bit. I have no idea what this is going to come out like, but we're all going to find out in a couple hours or so. All right. I'm going to set that little critter right in the center, hopefully. And get ready for this guy here. Okay. I'll try one more time to get this guy together. He's blocking the camera here. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's see if I can roll this into a sort of a bread here. Pinch that together a little bit. This is probably unethical, but I'm pressing it down a little bit in here. It's gonna expand. Hopefully make a decent loaf for me. It's all an experiment anyway, so there we go. All right, there it is. This one's going over in the other crock pot. Put the cover on. turned it on high. I'm going to be doing the same thing over here. If I can find the cover I'm looking for. Okay, I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of flour on the top of this one. Okay, cover goes on, and right to high. So that's all there is to it, guys. Now we wait for a couple hours at least. I'm going to clean up my mess and take a break. So I'll be turning off the camera. So Lloyd Deuce, I'll see you checking out, and hopefully end up with some pumpernickel bread. Well, it's time to find out what we ended up with today. I have the round bread sitting in here. I'm going to lift it out. Set it down right here. Put a little bit of butter. I'm going to start my broiler before I forget here. Start. Put some butter on the top and then put under the broiler for a little bit. Hope I don't make it collapse here. Sounds pretty solid. We'll find out. Bring out the rack. And set it in here. Try to center it up under the broiler. And what I do is I watch the butter that I smeared on top. When it starts bubbling, and then when it just about stops bubbling, you know it's made it to where you want to be ready to pull it out before it burns. I've just extricated the other loaf of bread. So far, so good. You never know what you got till you cut it open. Looks pretty right now, but things could change. Hopefully they won't. Okay. I don't know if I can squeeze them both in there at once. I might be pushing my luck. Well, I'm going to turn off the camera and I'll toast these up and bring you back on when it's done. Well, the bread is done. It's been browned up under the broiler. The inside temperature is about 200 degrees on this loaf, and I assume the other one's probably pretty close to the same, and that's what you really need to get up to, at least 200. And going to take an hour and a half or so to cool these down, believe it or not. I'll keep an eye on them, and when the temperature gets down enough, I'll get brave and give it a slice. Oh, well, the bread has cooled down, so I guess we'll take a slice and see what ended up inside there. All right. See if we can get you what it looks like, and I have no idea, so it's as big a surprise to me as it is to you. Let's take a look and see how the loaf came out. Well, now that looks pretty doggone good to me, by golly. All right. I'm going to put this one back for a minute. Now this is the one I want to see what's going to happen in here. All right, let's get a look and see. I'm cutting backwards on myself here. But we'll get her done. Well, there we go. Looking pretty good to me. Check out that crust, huh? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to take a slice from each one, and I'm going to make myself a toast this evening. Not much better way to tell. Put it in a toaster and give it a shot. All right. Well, put these fellas away now that they're cool. I can cover it over without it sweating and causing a problem. All right. Oh, and I still have one of my white breads. Let's see if this is willing to share the bread box here, my fancy bread box. All right. I would say we have success. I'll know when I taste the toast. Make it the toast test, as it were, here. My brandy new Cuisinart bread cutting knife. It works pretty good. Hopefully my smoke alarm won't go off. Okay. The ultimate test here. Oh, smells good. Let's see what we ended up with here. Turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So Lord Do Salt Senior checking out. We have our pumpernickel bread. Looks like this one's little baking operation is done. Lord Do Salt Senior checking out.